Here with Mizzou coach Brian Smith. Summer practice. How you doing, Brian?
Good. A little open mat. Guys working hard, having fun.
Nothing like the smell of summer sweat in the wrestling room. Coach, haven't talked to you before. I wanted to talk a little bit about last year's overnight success. I'm kidding. It's a long time coming, but you had a great dual season last year. A lot of people took notice when you knocked off Ohio State. Can you tell me a little bit about that dual season and just a little bit about the growth of this program over the last 18 years?
Yeah, this will be 18 coming up.
Okay.
You know, it was a special year. We found ways to win some tight duels. We had a tough one with Ohio State, at Ohio State.
Yep.
We went to Cornell and beat Cornell up there. So, you know, and Oklahoma State here.
Yeah.
So we had a tough road in the regular season with duels. So then when we met up with a tough Illinois team, a tough Lehigh, and then of course a real tough Iowa team, I felt like our dual season prepared us for that. But it seemed like every duel there was a new person stepping up for a win and coming up with a big win or coming up with a big bonus point or whatever it may be. But it was just good to see because we had been in the national duel finals twice.
Yeah.
Before that time and had never won it. So that was just another thing off our checklist that hey, we won a national duels title now. So it was a special year that way.
So special year. Can you tell me a little bit about the emotional roller coaster of that kind of? I mean, it's a lot of stress.
It is, but you know, the good thing about it is the kids were having fun. The team was having a lot of fun. When I would watch them warm up before matches and you know just loose playing football, having a good time. And I think that's the important thing that you got to remember that it's we have a streak, but who cares? Half the time they didn't even know we were at 20 or 24 or whatever it was.
That's the best.
Win streak. And that was nice. The media kept bringing it up.
Right.
So of course it became they didn't even know we were at 20 or 24 or whatever it was.
That's the best.
Win streak. And that was nice. The media kept bringing it up.
Right.
So of course it became we were more focused on hey, let's go do what we can do and control what we can control. Is to go. We watch film of our opponent. I know where to put my hands. I know my setup. I know my best shot. I got to stick with that. And that was the nice thing. Our team was very consistent throughout the whole season. Yeah. Even at the NCAAs. It may not have ended the way we wanted it to, but sometimes that's life. But the great thing is I really felt we competed. We competed hard in every match and we lost two really tight semifinal matches and you know, right down to the wires and you win some, you lose some, but we ended up with 5 All-Americans, another national champion, and you know, was it what we wanted? No, but we did you have to step back and say, you know, this program continues to grow, continues to progress and make strides, and you know, and that's what I'm pleased. And we had 5 academic All-Americans, which was the most in the country. So not only was it a good team on the mat, they were doing the right things off the mat.
That's great. So, good team, great season last year. I mean, it was really enjoyable to watch your team. I love a lot of the guys, the style of wrestling. Can you talk a little bit about the technique and what you're trying to impart to the guys here on the team as far as a wrestling philosophy?
I really believe it's more about the attitude you bring to practice. Some of my best wrestlers in the history of the program, the Ben Askrens, love to be at practice. And you have to almost teach that to kids that coming to practice is really more important than the duels and the competitions and the tournaments. You got to enjoy coming in here and learning that not only am I going to get to this move, but I'm going to know if he reacts this way, I'm going to get to the next one and the next one and enjoy that and have fun with it and learning wrestling. And when they enjoy that and have fun with it, then wrestling becomes more enjoyable. And you go out there and you enjoy the competition because you've worked in areas and you're seeing yourself progress and get better. And I think that's what we have going on. We have a system, and it doesn't mean we don't go outside the system and show other things. We do, but we believe in our positioning. We believe in top wrestling. We definitely believe in that.
Yeah.
And so we go in there knowing that we honestly think that we're going to get riding time in every match. We honestly believe we're going to get the first takedown in every match. And it's just a mentality when they're walking. That's how they have to practice, though, too.
Right. Absolutely.
It starts in the summer. You can't just sit around. You got to get after it when you're going.
Right. You can see 42 kids in the room today?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty good. MAC Coach of the Year again.
I think that's a credit to it's not me. There's so many people involved. It takes an administration to believe in a program. It takes the trainers, the strength coaches, the academic advisors. You have assistant coaches. I've been blessed to have so many great assistant coaches in the past and current. And they're all over the place coaching all over the country. I run into them more often now. And it's just, I think that's what it is. An award like that isn't an individual award. I think that's a program award when they say, you know, this coach did the best job. Because I didn't do most of the job. I kind of directed it. I told them how to row the boat, and they did the work.
Right. Well, it's a good coaching tree you're growing out right now. Can you tell me a little bit about competing in the MAC, what it's like compared to maybe being in a harder conference like the Big Ten? I mean, what?
You know, we don't approach. I don't think of the MAC as an easier conference. I look at Northern Iowa, and they were undefeated 2 years ago. I look at Central Michigan, consistent all the time, and have beaten good teams in the past, and they've beaten us a couple times. So, and then you look at an Old Dominion and where Stevie's taken his program. There's some really good programs, Kent State, and we still wrestle Ohio State's in a duel. We have Ohio State here next year. We have Oklahoma State. We have Oklahoma's. We wrestle a tough schedule, so I don't look at it. This is part of the process of doing well at the NCAA tournament. You've got to take every match you wrestle, and it's got to be the most important match. And if you come in with that attitude that this is the most important one, everyone is. The next one on the schedule is the most, and how you wrestle every team, whether it may be the lowest team in the MAC or the best team in the country. If you're consistent with that, you're going to be successful, and that's what we've got to get from our guys. That's consistency.
You mentioned all the coaches that have helped you along the way. Has the administration always been supportive of wrestling here? Has it grown?
No. They haven't, and that's just honest. If they were standing here, I would say, no, they haven't. But I think in our sport, we can't expect to be treated like football. You can expect to get treated better as you progress and your athletes succeed off the mat, on the mat, and success starts to come, and you boost your club, and fans are coming, and then they have to take notice. And I think that's within our sport. You have to do that. You have to grow your program and do it. And they say this all the time at Missouri that, oh, wrestling will figure it out. They don't need money. They'll figure it out. And I'm like, that's not fair. But they have. Over the years, they've given more and more and more, and now they look at that Mizzou's one of their best sports programs they have. What can we do for you? We want to win a national title. What can we do for you? And you've got to grow that on. You got to kill them with kindness, kill them with greatness, with success, and what they're doing on the mat and off the mat, and then they learn to love wrestling. I think people learn to love it because good things are happening.
You've been around a long time. Can you tell me about some of the mentors who have helped you get to this point in your career?
Well, one would be my dad, who was a football coach for 35, 40 years and just was a coach.
Did you play for him?
I played. I never got to play for him.
Okay, just checking.
I grew up I always wanted to be coached by him, and I wanted to coach with him, and it just never seemed to happen. I went back and coached, and he was at a different school, and thought I was going to stay in high school and would end up being a head high school football coach, but got going with wrestling too and was successful. And then Jack Spates came along, and Jack was a mentor. I had my old high school coach Rainey Miller, my cousin Kevin Smith, who's from Long Island, who went to high school with Jack Spates. So there were many mentors along the way, and then you look at the Pat Melkoviches, who grabbed me and said, Brian, my freshman year in college at Michigan State, he said, Brian, I know you want to be a coach. At camp, I want you to get in the hip pocket of every great coach. I'm going to point out these coaches, and you stay with them. Eat with them, pick their brains, learn how they teach technique, and learn from them. And it was a great lesson. You know, getting to work with Jack Spates and Rob Cole for a year.
Rob had nice things to say about you.
5 years with Rob was just, I mean, I learned more in those few years that I was with those two and with Rob than I probably learned over all the years.
Really?
Because it was such a knowledge base that I could draw from and learn from, and they were so giving of it. So it was really neat.
Awesome. So a couple of your alumni, Ben Askren, Michael Chandler, have gone on to have pretty serious MMA careers, good fighters. Can you tell me a little bit about what it is about those guys? Is it something they got here, or they just have that in them, or a combination?
Askren, I thought he would get killed out there because I'd never seen him fight.
Really?
And he's just so nice and playful. And I'm like, man, you know, I even told him before his first fight, before he went and fought, and he told me he was going to. I'm like, you realize you're going to take some punches in this, but when Ben was going out for the Olympics, everybody said his style wouldn't do well and he wouldn't be successful. And in a matter of a year and a half, he made the Olympic team in the United States of America. And so he adapted. So I said, don't count Ben out in anything that's competitive. He will find a way. and he finds a way, and he's had an unbelievable MMA career, and he's
Definitely.
still continuing. And then Michael Chandler was just a workhorse. I mean, he came to this room really as a walk-on, and just came in and worked, and he made you notice him. He made you notice him, and his work ethic just carried over into the success, in competition. And he just lived his life right, and he's a bright kid. And now he's having all this success, and it doesn't surprise me because his work ethic, but he is an aggressive. Now, Michael, I could see he was an aggressive kid on the mat. Off the mat, the nicest kid in the world, but on the mat, man, you didn't want to get him mad because he'll come after you. And then even Tyron Woodley, who's in the UFC,
definitely
having a great career.
Animal.
Tyron was a guy when I heard he was going into the fighting. I said that guy's going to be good.
Right, no one wants to fight him right now.
Him take those punches and he knocks the guy out cold in one punch. I wouldn't fight Tyron.
Yeah, I think
I would yell at him, but if he came at me, I'd
Hendricks
run
might
for
be
the door.
ducking him right now. I think. You guys had a strong team last year. You got some transfers this year. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a kid named Grant Leith coming in from Duke, who was a top kid out of Missouri, a 3-time state champ out of Kearney, and just heard from him that he wanted to come back home. So we said, come on home. This is Missouri. You belong here. So he's a special young man, a bright kid, and wants to be here in the program. So we'll have him here. And then we have Blaze Butler, who transferred in, got into the MBA program here and wanted to come here and go to school, finish school. So it's, for us, he was in the round of 12 last year.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup.
We feel like in our room we're going to get him over that hump and get him into the national finals and become a national champ. We think he has that ability. So to pick up a couple kids like that, that's real important. And of course, with the 3 All-Americans returning, we have some other good kids with Daniel Lewis coming off a red shirt, Joey LaValle still in the room. It's a very, Zach Sinnen, who won the MAC. We have a very talented team. Barlow McGee coming off of red shirt. So we don't ever think of it as a rebuilding year. I think we lost 5 seniors last year, talented seniors.
Yeah.
How to shoulder Waters and Evelyn and Ing. There's some good kids, Mellon. But if you say you're rebuilding it, then you're not doing your job as a coach. You've got to have kids underneath, and that's why when we have 40 kids in a room, next kid's got to be ready. Next kid's got to be ready to step on the mat and win for us.
Anything else you want to tell us about this coming season?
Looking forward to it. We have some great home duels with Oklahoma, Ohio State.
You have Ohio State this year at home?
Ohio State, Cornell, and Oklahoma at home. And
all this year?
All this year.
Fantastic.
It'll be going back to my home state where I was born in New York and spent a good about 20 years of my life growing up and then coaching at Cornell and Syracuse. So it'll be good to get back to New York and see, in the Garden. We wrestled in the Garden at the Grapple at the Garden, and it was a great atmosphere. With the NCAAs, it's going to be the mecca media place of the world, and it's going to be exciting. It's great for our sport. I think it's really going to grow our sport to the mainstream, and they're going to have to take notice of what's going on at the Garden.
Right. And filling that place is, people have to notice. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck this season. Enjoy the style. Keep it up. Keep winning.
Tiger style.
Tiger style.